footsteps to me. I'm on pins and needles already here. We sat back on the ground last night about 50 yards away. Had that nice buck come in I just couldn't get a shot at. We saw 5 deer right here last night. It's really thick. We can't see very far. They were all using this little travel corridor. It sounds like we might have deer walking around behind us right now, but could just be the loudest army of squirrels ever. I don't know. Super calm this morning. Still trying to figure out what the wind's going to do. It's just kind of pulling right here, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'll probably try some calling here in a minute.
Sticks and our platforms last night instead of pushing down in through there where they're bedding at, because yesterday when we came in here for the first time we bumped some deer out of there. I decided to stay up from it where one will have a more consistent wind. We're not going to go through there just bumping all those deer out of there. I've got a cell camera that we put out yesterday. Last night I got a picture of a decent 8-point, 9-point, probably 110-inch deer. I'm checking the scrape. I haven't seen any deer yet this morning. Yesterday we were covered up in them, so if this set isn't any good, we'll push further in this evening. Well, that doe kind of fed off, but it's probably been an hour, and I see her again down here feeding. There's a lot of white oaks in here, and that's the reason there's squirrels everywhere. This doe came in here and fed around underneath the white oak tree for probably 30 minutes, and then went back the way she came. Other than that, it's been pretty slow. Probably midday we'll climb down, eat some lunch, and then start working our way that way, just scout our way through. And then decide where we're going to get. Don't move. He's going left to right, hanging.
Where?
Did I hit him? It didn't sound good, did it?
I think it went right over his back.
Are you serious?
I couldn't see because he stopped right behind the tree and I could just see his horns.
Man.
Did you have a clear shot in?
It was tight. much to quit. Man, I don't know how it went over his back unless my anchor point was bad.
I mean, unless it hit, but
it didn't sound good.
I don't even think it hit. Can you see her, Hero?
No. Well, we still don't know much. By the sound of it, though, it didn't sound like an impact. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I got tore up after the shot. I'm thinking that they were standing around 34 after I ranged where I think he was there. I don't know. I had a really tight window to try to weave an arrow through. Once he got past this single tree, I didn't have a shot at him. So I stopped him, and I don't know. I mean, we're gonna get down and look at the arrow. Maybe I hit a limb or something. I don't know. Alright, so we just climbed out of the tree. We're gonna leave our sticks in the tree for now, just so we can have a location. But I did find blood, a tiny speck. I'm gonna walk down here and look at it here. I left my saddle where it's at. Not sure what to make of it. Still don't know. I mean, well, that tells me I hit him, but I don't know where. We're gonna go back to camp where my computer is and watch it, see if we can't make out the fletching. I just started. I got new arrows right before we left. I had been shooting a fixed blade broadhead, but I didn't get this bow tuned exactly what I wanted to, and we were leaving the day of. I didn't feel comfortable shooting those fixed blades because at further distances, they weren't quite flying right yet. But I went ahead and put on an expandable because they normally fly great or better than a fixed blade, which I'm not crazy about expandables, but I have killed deer with them. Can't find an arrow, which when I couldn't find the arrow, I kind of started, just wondering like, man, it's got to be in that deer. We're gonna walk down here and look at it and then back out of here, go watch the footage on a computer frame by frame, see if we can see anything, and then go from there.
Alright, it's our first morning here, and I don't know if everybody else is on the road. We're kind of waiting until gray light to get rolling because we haven't seen any of this stuff really in the daylight except for driving in yesterday. So we got the kayaks in the back of the truck. That's kind of our plan A as of now, is we're gonna go check a river, see how high it is, and use those kayaks to get way back in there. Well, it's been an adventure already. This river didn't look too bad, but it's cooking. We got about halfway to where we wanted to be, found a spot that we could actually get off, and just stopped. Luckily, we got here to a spot safe, and we can walk from here and then figure out the plan as the evening goes on, and we can get out of here at some point. The biggest thing is we just gotta get to that side, but nonetheless, the good thing is I don't think anybody else is doing that. Nah. That's a big scrape. So we're just working our way up this ridge. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the kayaks to where we really wanted to go. We bumped a deer right off the point, which he had no idea what we were. So we're just gonna keep still hunting. The good thing is this one dumps off. That was right around where we wanted to hunt. Off of just looking at a map, it dumps down to the bottom, and there's 3 of these that come together right there. So I would assume that there's probably more than one buck on these points. So you can just hear the acorns dropping.
Well, me and Greg ain't seen nothing but birds and squirrels this morning. It's about 11 o'clock. Been sitting here since daylight. It's Halloween, so bucks could be up moving at any time during the day this time of year. And sun's gonna pop out. It's gonna be a pretty nice day. Deer should be moving again this afternoon and this evening, I would think. We're gonna get out and scout around a little bit more. Me and Ted found 2 or 3 good spots yesterday. We ain't even really scratched the surface of this place yet, so I'm gonna keep on the move for a little bit here. Few little fingers and ridges in the middle of this creek bottom out there. You can kind of see where one of them starts right there. Lots of good bedding cover in here. They haven't had a real hard frost yet to kill all this stuff. So deer are still browsing on it real heavy. No buck sign in here, but a lot of deer sign. Or drop a pin.
Fresh deer tracks. I picked this spot out before I even came up here. Just looking on the map, looked like we had a good mix of mature woods and younger, thicker stuff. And so far, it looks like it's turning out to be true. We got some real nice hardwoods right here by the water. We're coming up on the downwind side of this hill, so the wind is swirling pretty bad, but it's okay. We're gonna try to get up near the top. I'm just gonna kind of ease in here and see what I find. See, up the hill it gets a little thicker. That's kind of what I'm looking for. We'll stay on the downwind side of that. Not a single good acorn here yet. It's a pretty good one. So far it's not the kind of thick cover I was looking for. It's more like wide open woods with a bunch of briars. It's not like super thick. It's hard to walk through. I'm making a lot of noise. I may back out of here and go back to the cornfields. And if I can't find a tree there, I'll just keep walking up towards where those two does were yesterday, and I'll find me a spot in there somewhere. It's pretty thick in there, but I like it. There's a lot of deer sign in there, not much here. So we're gonna try to get through these briars back to the boat here and hop over there. A lot of persimmons right by the boat. See if there's any fresh sign under them. We're gonna go. There's corn over there. Corn over here is all corn, standing corn, and then there's a finger of woods going that way. That's where I'm going to start. If it doesn't look good, I'm going to work my way up into the woods towards where I was yesterday. Just going to pick a spot in between cornfields probably, see how it goes. Well, dadgum, wonder if I shouldn't be hunting right here. The boat's right there. That may throw them off. I could go park it around the corner, or I could say screw it and hunt here anyway. They could be bedded right here in the corner, they could be bedded up in the thick woods. Maybe I'll just go right up in here somewhere and climb. There's a lot of deer droppings right under this one tree. There's a lot of, well, I saw them a second ago, a lot of tops off of persimmons that have been eaten. Yeah, there's one here. So, the deer have been eating them. Maxed out my string.
So I really wanted to kind of see if these scrapes have been hit. What we kind of determined was there's a movement coming through here like this, going that way. And we don't know where they're going to. They're just going out to private down here. I want to work this system, and the sign gets better and better as you go. And I want to see if it keeps going back further. Get back into those ridges. There's some ridge systems back there that look pretty good. And there's a little ridge system down here where we went in and found a good spot. Joe hunted there yesterday and saw a nice 10-pointer. I don't want to get too far in there and mess it up. So I want to look at this first, and if we can't find anything, we'll swing back around. But I know that that'd be a good spot for morning set, and we really ain't got too many good morning sets because we got to walk down all the sign that the deer are coming through in order to get back there, and we kind of tainted it already. We'll see what we find when we get way back there. So we started hunting back in here a day and a half ago. This is the last place I got to. It's where I got to last night. I hunted right up in here, where I can see this whole funnel. Everything comes out of these fingers and stuff crosses through here to go that way. And it looks like all the signs dried up in there from, me tainting it. Yesterday I had a deer come in at 3 o'clock through here and caught me setting up. I was climbing the tree, it was coming in. I didn't get to see what it was. I don't know if it was a year and a half old or if it was a shooter or what. It just snorted and turned around and ran. What I kind of want to do is get a little further in here, and I want to check this point out and see if they're coming in up there yet, maybe dropping down over there. And then take this ridge back here that's got a lot of fingers that go up there and see if any of those got real hot sign coming out. And if they do, we'll set up and hunt. If they don't, we'll back up, go all the way back around and drop into where the 10-pointer showed up yesterday and come in a little from there. So obviously they don't take too well to human scent because they disappeared off this ridge. All those scrapes are fresh. Now they're all old. It stopped raining last night before dark. Nothing's been through there opening those scrapes since. So we're going to try and find where the fresh scrape lines are now. It would make sense that if the buck sensed me down here, they just took this ridge straight over. And from my stand, I was hearing squirrels bark here, 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 and here, right down this ridge, towards the area where Joe saw the 10-pointer. So I'm thinking it could be up in here.
Yeah.
And this is a little fresher. I mean, it's obviously been rained on, but not as bad as the other ones. And the other ones were fresh 2 days ago. So this is in the last, probably about a day ago. There's a big rub to our right. All this sign looks like it's about a week old. I think we were here a week ago. We killed one here immediately. Now I don't think it was me tainting that ridge because, we've gone in about 2 miles now, and
it all looks like this.
The sign here stopped the same as that sign. So they shifted to something. Either the doe's shifted on a food source, or there's a doe coming into heat, or whatever. But based on the sign we saw down at the bottom, and what Joe saw, I'd say we're gonna need to go low. Long walk back over there, but it's closer to the truck when we leave.
True. Closer drag.
Yeah. Right here, we got a bunch of fingers that drop in with bedding points on them. It looks like they could be bedded on this one or the next one. But this is a really thick area, a high stem count, and there's just a natural opening right here for whatever reason. Doesn't look like anybody cleared it. I don't know why it's open right here. But I'm thinking if we go any further, we might have to run the risk if it just stays thick like that. And this has a natural shooting lane. There's a nice runway through here. There's some rubs over here. You can kind of see them going off that way. And we got the scrape line that Joe was on back there. I don't think it's the greatest spot in the world, but I think it's okay. I think we might have some action. We're going to just try this. And hopefully if we don't kill one, we at least get some eyeballs on one or hear something. Let's try this.
All right.
No matter what happens, I think this would be a good morning spot.
Hear that sound that just wasn't a big doof?
It didn't sound like a shoulder blade hit though.
That's not in the stopping shoulder.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like the socket.
The hard part.
I mean,
like
your
that,
arrow, you penetrated.
You should have penetrated there.
And you probably didn't get your arrow because it's in the other side.
Yeah, but like virtually zero blood. I was worried that it's going too far right and keeps going right, but you can see, watch, I'm going to click here.
There's 2 frames you can see the fletching right there. See, watch. 2 frames you can see that green, and then it disappears. That's where it's stuck in him.
I think
that's a good shot.
That looks like a good shot to me. I know what you're saying. It sounds nasty.
Yeah, it sounds like what in the world?
It's probably because you hit hard into that.
Probably that back plate
You know what
on
I
the
mean?
shoulder, but you didn't hit the hard
But you
shoulder.
didn't hit that.
But the blood I found was kind of darkish colored, but I think it could have just been some type of flesh blood or, you know. He wasn't like spraying by any means or anything like that.
Been cleaned off by the dirt. Where it went through this mulch, it's cleaned it off. It was laid back all the way through here. But you can smell it.
That ain't a very good sign. It's so weird, you just don't know.
Think you nicked him?
Could have. If there's a hair. Yeah, there still should be some.
Streak or
If you missed him, you missed him low.
Yep.
But the way it slid under the, you know what I mean?
We'll just do a walk down in there, but that ain't a good sign at all for a lethal shot.
I'm just going to kind of sit back and film. If they need my help, I'm going to help them out. But Kirk was in this tree right there. And we're going down here to where the deer was. So then I'm going to let them do their thing. This is not the bad part about being a hunter, but this is the sucky part. Kirk got in here and done his due diligence and got in the right position and made a shot. It must not have been as lethal shot as we thought. We found the arrow with no blood, or you could smell it, but there was no blood on it, a few hairs, and nothing down in here. We're gonna go back up to where the tree stand is, where they had their saddles, and take it from there. I mean, Kirk's a good hunter. This is a great spot he's got in and found, so he'll get back in here and stay back after it. He's in a good area, so it's part of it. You keep on grinding, you don't give up. It happens, it sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, you win some and you lose some, and we lost. The best thing we can come up with is when we were watching the footage of the camper, we thought for sure, we thought we drilled it, like the first few frames, and I was still just kind of unsure because of the way the deer acted when we shot and the way it sounded. It just didn't sound right. We got here and Josh actually found the arrow. We didn't find it because it was buried up, and the way it looks is it just skimmed right. I mean, it just grazed the deer because we did find that blood, just a teeny tiny bit. So just a flesh wound right underneath of him, skimmed off of him. We went down in that bottom, looked around all over the place, no blood. Josh went this way, I went down the middle, and Zach went right. We all met up down there, nothing. I'm just gonna write it off as a low shot. My pin was set for, looking at it, it's set for like 29. You shoot a single pin, and the deer was actually standing at 34 when I ranged it. So that could explain why I hit low. But no excuses. It's just a shot you gotta make, regardless. I know this area's good. Where that deer cruised through, where he was coming, when I grunted at him, he was working this edge right through here. We're in these big oaks, and it's open behind us, and he's working the edge of it, just like I thought he would. We picked the perfect tree last night. I mean, we did everything perfect. Second day in here hunting, and it just didn't work out. So it sucks when you bust your butt. We should be down there gripping and grinning right now, but oh well. Keep moving forward, that's all you can do.
Yeah, it was a big one. I was nervous about slipping up this edge like that. Bedded right next to the dang water. That's the second one that was bedded right next to the water. The only advantage is that he didn't smell us. He saw us. That's what he's doing though, is he's bedded there and he's waiting for those does to come out of there, and then he's cutting out to meet up with them. if we make it about 200 yards, that'll be where those trails cut across.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably all the farther I want to go, because I don't want to spook him twice.
Right.
I'm assuming that he went up in there and got into that greenbrier that we found earlier, and he's probably
settled down.
Yeah, he'll settle back down right there. I really like this greenbrier. This would make a lot of sense for a buck to come out of this bedding area and stage up on this ridge where you can see that whole bottom.
Scent drifted that way.
Been drifting all over the dang place. We're getting down at prime time because the wind has not cooperated for the last 2 hours in that tree. Our hope was that the sun would fall and the thermals would pull it into this bottom, which it seems to be doing right now. But while we were up in the tree, it was not consistent. We had a doe come in, spook, at 80 yards before she even got to us. And I just felt like we were going to do more harm than good actually just sitting in the tree, so we got down. We're going to try to make a quick move somewhere and do a calling sequence or something before last light here.
See the area we were hunting this morning, but I just wanted to push down in here a little bit because when we were tracking that deer, I found quite a few scrapes and beds down in here too, like back in that way. The wind's blowing out of there this evening, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, we've tromped around a lot in here, so I've definitely tainted the property. We're just gonna sit here this evening and come back here in the morning because the wind's gonna be right for this again in the morning. So hopefully Josh and Zach get on that buck this evening. I hope they went out. I don't know if they did or not because they were in here tracking, helping me. Once we decided that, really, when we found that area, we knew, but we went ahead and looked around just in case, and nothing. Once we decided, the deer it was fine, they went ahead and left. So I'm hoping they made it back in time to get up in a tree. We'll sit here this evening, kind of just see how it goes. That ain't funny. Well, I've shot twice today. Dude, that sucks.
spent a lot of our time in. We jumped what we're assuming was a pretty good buck in the morning just by finding all those fresh scrapes and tracks going right to where we bumped them from. Good sized tracks. Found a good scrape line, bunch of fresh sign, bunch of food sources for them in the big woods here. And then what we determined tonight was we found a pretty good cruising spot if we want to lay it for later in the week when hopefully they pick up, cruising a little bit more. It's the last day of October, so things should all look up from here. I mean, coming to an area you've never been before and seeing deer, finding deer, and having 2 deer within bow range or first set, two bucks. I mean, they were little bucks. We'll take that any day. So tomorrow, kayak right across the river and do it all over again. So look forward to getting back to camp, seeing what all the other guys saw, and hopefully somebody had some luck today.
Nothing?
Nope.
Yeah.
I left my sticks and my platform and everything up in the tree because it looks really good up in there. Found hot persimmons. Like there's a tree that had probably like 300 or 400 up on it and few on the ground. Deer crap everywhere.
That's good.
So I'm gonna go back in the morning.
November 1st tomorrow morning.
Oh shoot, yeah. Something gonna die tomorrow.
Something's gonna die. Hopefully something died tonight.
Yeah.
We were in the Halloween spirit today because we literally spooked every deer that we saw. And I don't think that's an exaggeration.
We did. Every single deer that we saw today, we spooked them.
That was our Halloween hunt.
There you go.
Yep.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's how you do it on Halloween.
But when we left, we saw a Magnum in the road right as we pulled out. And he's got public on both sides of it.
Yes, everything else was edible, so you should
I don't know where the toothpick's at.
Jake did?
Well, I did it.
Oh, thank you.
I watched Mindy make these all day.
Well, that's going to do it for day 2 here at the PLC. Guy got closer today. Kirk got a shot. Sounds like Kirk's in him strong on the acorns. We spooked the crap out of everything and on our group. But sounds like Dan's on some good sign and Josh is on some good sign. Haven't heard from John Lewis yet. They're still on their way out right now, I think. But we did see a big one on the way on the drive home that's on public. Tomorrow's looking good. It's supposed to be calm winds, cool in the morning, crunchy. Temps are going to be in the low 50s tomorrow, I think, for highs. So, and tomorrow is start of November. So,
Turn the page.
Turn the page. Get October behind us here. Get one hanging in this tree here at camp tomorrow night. That'd be all right.